Of the great state of Texas. Congressman, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it.
From the Quinnipiac poll, only 42% of those surveyed say they approve of the job the Biden administration is doing in helping schools return to in-person instruction, with 38% disapproving and 1 in 5 unsure or offering no opinion. Congressman, do you expect that will push this White House to get tougher with their friends in the teacher union?
Well, I certainly hope so, Mike. I mean, I think they would have done this by now already. I mean, it is absolutely necessary that our kids get back to school. The teachers they operate in one of the safest working environments out there in the workforce right now. We've proven in multiple studies recently that kids are not getting this virus. If they get this virus, they don't get sick from it. And if they get sick from it, they're not passing it to each other, and they're not passing it to teachers and to adults. And, you know, the teachers unions hold so much authority and so much power over the Democrat Party because of all the money that they give to the party. And the party, and you know, the Democrats give the money back to them. It's a very incestuous system, the way it's set up, where they get money. And that's what they're doing. They're holding out. There's a $1.9 trillion COVID relief package out there.
Right.
And they want to make sure that they get every bit of that they can get. So that's what they're doing. And these insistence that there's universal vaccinations, we don't need that. The CDC director, President Biden's own CDC director, has said time and time again, as well as Dr. Fauci and multiple other people that are supposed to be the scientists that his administration is supposed to follow, because he's told us numerous times, follow the science, follow the science. They have said that it is not necessary for that to happen, for teachers to get back to school. And that really has to happen at this point. We got to get our kids back in school.
You're a medical doctor. In fact, you were a White House doctor. Should it be this complicated with schools?
It should not be this complicated. And, you know, people will make the point that early on it made sense because we didn't know what was going on with this virus. It was very unknown. You know, we didn't know how infectious it was. We didn't know how it was transmitted. We didn't know who got it. We didn't know what we needed to do to prevent it from spreading. But we know so much about this virus now, and we know that we can get kids back to school if we just do mandatory mask wearing and a reasonable amount of distancing. We don't need routine testing, and we don't need universal vaccinations. Now, it doesn't mean we don't want to strive to get there, but we don't need that right now for them to get back. It should not be this hard. And a non-medical group like the teachers union should not be making the decisions on this. It should be the scientists and the advisors that President Biden has available to him that are doing this. Okay,
to the deep freeze in your beloved Texas, your colleague, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is pouncing on your state's power issues. She says basically the infrastructure failures in Texas are quite literally what happens when you don't pursue a Green New Deal. Do you worry she will use this crisis to push for that progressive wish list?
Well, I think they're going to have trouble. I think this does just the opposite. I think the new Green Deal pushes for zero carbon-based, energy sources, to get rid of all of coal and oil and gas and nuclear energy and have nothing but these renewable sources. And I'm all about having renewable sources, but these renewable sources, they are unreliable sources. And that's what we've proven with what's going on in Texas right now. We have to have reliable sources of energy, not just renewable sources, but reliable sources. And that's not what we have here. And so, you know, there's been huge incentives that are out there. These resources, also wind and solar, they're not self-sustainable. They don't operate without huge government subsidies, and it'll be a long time before they pay for themselves. And so at some point we have to go back to what we can count on, to the reliable sources.
Well, Congressman, we wish you and your constituents the very best. We hope things thaw out soon and life gets back to normal in the great state of Texas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Colorado Congresswoman Lauren